Morning, folks. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 says,
Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue, if there is anything praiseworthy,
meditate on these things. Do you know that every day you have the opportunity to feed your brain like you feed your body? Every day your body needs a certain amount of food to work properly. Your brain works in the same way. You can feed it with trash. You can feed it with healthy food. I want to call your attention to the fact that the way you think and the way you behave is directly proportional to the amount and quality of information that you feed your brain. Unfortunately, with the events happening on the last couple of weeks, it's very hard to filter the amount of negative information coming to your brain. I'm not sure about you, but my mind is saturated with the word coronavirus and epidemic or pandemic. The word epidemic, or in this case pandemic, has a very interesting Greek root. Epi would means around, and pan means everywhere, plus the word demos in Greek means people. So you have this phenomena affecting people around somewhere or everywhere. In addition to that, the World Health Administration on the 2nd of February of 2020 came with a new word. Are you ready for that? The word is infodemic, the junction of information plus pandemic. And they define it as an excessive amount of information about a problem such that the solution is made more difficult. In consequence of that, as a chaplain, every day I have the opportunity to interact with people who have been experiencing a higher level of insecurity, anger, stress, conflict, fear, and anxiety more than usual. Dr. Alfonso Salgado says that for every 5 minutes that you are exposed to bad news, assimilating it without filtering it, your immune system will experience 5 hours of lower performance. It means that every time that you expose yourself to social media or to the news that is telling you that thousands are infected, hundreds are dying, the market is crashing, unemployment is going higher, and there is no more toilet paper in the supermarket, you are poisoning your brain with that bad information. It was the summer of 1998. I was a student missionary in the south of Brazil, in the city of Videira, in the state of Santa Catarina. And by the end of a very stressful day, I used to go to the backyard of a church where I was a guest for a couple of weeks. I remember relaxing, looking at the little creek that was over there, green trees, and a very nice grass that I used to walk by to relax by the creek. One of those days that I was over there was a heavy rain and the level of the river went up. And a couple of days later, when the level of the river went down, I went back to contemplate the nice landscape view again. For my surprise, what I saw over there was a very disgusting picture. I saw a lot of old tires, cans, and plastic bag all over the trees and the grass. And my question to you is, where were all that trash before? And the answer is, every day people are throwing the trash on the river. But people couldn't see the trash floating in the water. The trash was accumulating all the time on the bottom. So on the very stormy days, all that trash was coming up. Human beings are the same way.
Every day you are accumulating good and bad information in your brain. If you are accumulating more bad information than good, on the stormy days, all that bad information is going to come up. That's when you're going to feel that you need to be happy in the middle of a crisis. But because you have been accumulating bad information, you're going to feel frustrated. That's when you need to keep up with the game, being accountable. But you're going to blast in the face of some people that you love and respect. And that's when you need to feel happy, but you're going to feel frustrated and depressed because of the bad information you have been accumulating on the bottom of your river. So, what are you trying to tell me now, Chaplain Villalba? I'm not recommending you isolate yourself from the rest of the world. You need to keep in touch. You need to know what's going on out there. One of my favorite songs by Casting Crown has a very interesting lyric. It says that wherever you go in this world, you're gonna hear many voices that are gonna crash your soul. Voices that are gonna tell you that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough, that you're not beautiful enough, you're not tall enough, strong enough, that the situation is negative and you cannot win. But the song continues saying that the voice of truth tells me a different story. The voice of truth tells me not to be afraid. And that's the voice of God that's going to prepare you for the bad days. That's the bread of heaven that is going to give you strength enough to be skillful on the stormy moments of your life. The voice of truth. If you ask me, Chaplain Villalba, how can I hear the voice of God? Well, at least I can mention to you 5 ways in how you can hear His voice. The first way in which God can speak to you is through events happening in your life. If something good is happening to you, tell other people. Talk to God. Thank God about it. He's going to rejoice with you. If you need wisdom for an important decision you're going to take, talk to God about it. And then pay attention to the events that God's going to orchestrate around you. Other people may think it is a coincidence, but you're going to know in your heart that it may be God talking to you through the events happening in your life. The second way in which God can speak to you is through good people.
Surround yourself with good people.
He thinks he has good people.
I'm going to take you to the ground.
Well, surround yourself with good people because God can speak to you through them. The third way in which God can talk to you is through nature. If you had a very rough day, why not to come to the beach and enjoy and listen to God's voice in the wind, the birds, in the waves? God can speak to you through His creation, through nature. The fourth way in which God can speak to you is through His Word. Take some time every day to meditate on the Scripture. And you're going to feel that on the stormy days, you're going to prevail against every trial and every battle. Because you have been putting His Word on the bottom of the river of your soul. God can speak to you through His Word. The fifth way in which God can speak to you is through His love. Usually when a warrior is in front of the battlefield, he or she carries in the wallet the picture of his or her beloved ones. And that picture is the best motivation that warrior has to face and win the battle in front of them. If you want to have a good reason to face and win the battle in front of you today, I would like to invite you to take a look at the cross. Take a look at what Jesus did for you. Scripture says that God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, so you can have everlasting life. You can face and win that battle and come back home. God can speak to you. He can give you power through His love, Jesus Christ. My desire for you is that you listen to God's voice speaking to you on this stormy season. That's going to be the best motivation you have to win the battle that you have in your life. May God bless you.